Well, government forces in Syria are launching all-out counterattacks in the capital to reclaim districts held by rebels. But the country is now facing a new religious front. Ramadan is meant to be a time of peace and prayer in the Muslim world, but it's now being used for political means. And Syrians have little hope it will help curtail violence, as RT's Oksana Boyka reports from Damascus.
It's a call for prayer that at times sounds like a mother's wail, and at others like a sinister cry in a horror movie. Plumes of smoke are now competing with minarets on the Damascus skyline, and few expect things to get any better in the coming month.
Saturday is the first day of Ramadan for many Syrian Muslims, but not for all. The authorities and the rebels that seem to disagree on just about everything also differ on when the holy month is supposed to begin.
The start of Ramadan is determined by the side of the new moon, which varies from country to country due to the weather. So in Syria, as well as in Iran or Oman, it fell on Saturday. The rebels, though, decided to start fasting a day earlier, in line with their geopolitical allies like Saudi Arabia and Turkey. Mixing religion and politics is becoming increasingly common in this 17-month-long struggle.
Muslims, we have something like Jihad, fight. If we have to fight, we don't care about die if we die, because when we die, we will go to Allah and to heaven.
In the Kafr Susah neighborhood of Damascus, the mosque still bears the scars of clashes between the rebels and the army. Local men tell us about atrocities committed by the troops and how their faith aids their fight.
Get armed, and we hope that we can fight against them, even in Ramadan. Yeah, it's not that easy, but we will do, inshallah, because we are with God and God with us.
Killing in the name of God is nothing new, of course, and in Syrian foxholes there are indeed very few atheists. And while the enemies are praying to the same God, they also seem to agree on at least one other thing: that the holy month is unlikely to bring any respite to violence.
The holy month of Ramadan is a time for frantic shopping, in time for sunset when Muslims break their fast. But here in Medan, in what used to be an upscale residential area close to central Damascus, you can barely find a single shop open. Most of them have been ravaged or destroyed, like this one. Those that stayed intact are closed, and actually there's absolutely no shoppers here in Medan. The only people that we've met so far are the army troops.
25-year-old Hassam is a conscript who joined the army fresh out of university a year and a half ago. While Islam exempts active duty soldiers from the dawn to dusk fasting, Hassam says he and the majority of other troops in his unit will do it anyway.
It's summer, it's hot, and we are facing a great challenge from these terrorists. But God is on our side. It gives us strength to go on for as long as it takes.
Yet he recognizes that with the advent of Ramadan, their efforts to stem what they call the spread of terrorism is likely to face more challenges. Not only mosques have been used by the militarized opposition for recruitment, large crowds heading to pray make it easier for the rebels to infiltrate new areas.
The reason why it's so hard to capture all these terrorists is because they can easily disguise themselves as civilians. When we conduct our operations, we have to let civilians out, and terrorists use that to move around.
While Ramadan calls for charity and compassion, Syrian men observing it routinely profess readiness to die for their cause. But for the war to stop, what they need is to be willing to live for it. Oksana Boyka, RT, Damascus, Syria.